Happy Thursday, October 8th, 2020. Take it away with this day in history.
All right, today's day in history, and then we'll tackle the VP debate. 1897, Charles Henry Dow, founder of the Wall Street Journal, begins charting the trends of stocks and bonds. 1939, Nazi Germany annexes Western Poland. 1956, Don Larson of the New York Yankees pitches the first no-hitter in World Series history. 1967, Che Guevara is captured in Bolivia. 1982, Cats begins a nearly 18-year run on Broadway. 1991, Croatia votes to sever its ties with Yugoslavia. And that's basically all part of the fallout from the Soviet Union. As the Soviet Union disbanded, so too did all the buffer countries in Eastern Europe. 2001, President George W. Bush establishes the Department of Homeland Security. Today's birthdays: Jesse Jackson, born in 1941. Chevy Chase, 1943. Johnny Ramone, on this day in 1948. Sigourney Weaver, 1949. C.J. Ramone, 1965.
Happy birthday, boys.
1970, Matt Damon. And those are the birthdays on this day in history.
The Che Guevara thing was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever read into that.
Oh, yeah.
He got screwed.
He did. It's amazing how he's worn on clothes like he's a, they make people rock stars after their deaths and things. And
I don't think people are educated enough about him.
No, they don't. There's a lot of aspects to his character.
I admire him personally.
Good, bad,
I think Fidel Castro was the problem. And unfortunately, the Castros turned on Che because Che was insisting they hold a fair election.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And when they said no, he went to spring revolutions elsewhere.
Yep.
And the CIA and the Bolivian government, in conjunction with the Fidel Castro regime.
Well, it's typical politics. It happens everywhere in the world. It just
very popular in South America.
Yes.
However, there are some who hate his guts.
Well, that's my point. That he has a lot of different.
He's a very polarizing figure.
Yes, totally. So
the Motorcycle Diaries was a pretty interesting
that was excellent
book that he wrote.
That movie was good too, right? Wasn't it? Benicio del Toro was in it, or something?
I didn't see the movie. I read the book though.
It was good.
He traveled around South America on a motorcycle and saw the poverty.
Yeah.
And he was a privileged kid.
Yep. No, he was very interesting character, and but you said it. He's very polarizing.
Yes.
So
anywho's. On to the debates.
Did you watch them?
Of course.
I mean, I know that's you're into the.
That's my thing.
Yeah. So, what did your initial take on it?
I think it was interesting to see how MSNBC, the second the debate ends, were like, "Ooh, looks like Kamala Harris kind of got beat up a little bit."
Wow. You know what's funny? I always go right to the lib station, CNN, and
MSNBC is very liberal too.
I know, but CNN. Literally, and I do this 15 minutes into the debate. I jump over to right away. They have her looking like George Washington, and they're like, Kamala Harris opens the debate with a historical statement. Like what?
That's just what they do.
I know, but the point is though. You finish what you were going to say. I totally interrupted you. I wanted to hear what you.
It's interesting though. I think that the news that I was following at first was like, ooh, like. Kamala Harris kind of didn't dominate like we thought she was gonna. She didn't. Pence had her running in circles. She was embarrassed at some point.
I didn't think she was going to dominate. I think
the one thing that we needed like a hole in the head though was that damn fly. What? Can you believe that a fly lands on this guy's head?
You know what? A guy posts today online that the animal spirit of a fly, it has something to do with in times of like in bad times, if you keep persevering, you will make it through bad times. That's what a fly is, animal spirit. Like, I'm just saying.
It was a micro drone.
Anybody, every place that you look is going to spin every aspect of that debate.
Any which way.
Any which way.
However, when you really look at it, we watched the same debate.
Yes.
Pence must be a good card player.
Pence,
he is something else, that guy.
He's smooth. He's eloquent.
He's no easy. Kamala Harris is probably prepping. And Pence, in my book,
he's a Rolodex.
He was just
he's a Rolodex.
Beyond prepared.
Just
so I don't know.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, he's a Rolodex. He just can.
Yeah.
And
cool
dates and time and facts, and I mean, the guy. I was not expecting that out of Pence. Yeah, I mean,
I wasn't either.
I watched.
I expected Kamala Harris though to be like, "I'm speaking," okay.
Yeah.
I expected that, but I give Pence a lot of credit because if that was Trump sitting there, he would have been like, he would have been ruthless.
Well,
Pence was nice enough. It was very civil.
I took some notes on what I thought about it. First thing that really, I always look to see what angle the moderator is going to take. And in most cases, the moderator poses questions in a way that it's almost like they're pitching underhand softball to the Dems. And then when they ask the Republican questions, they're throwing the ball overhand.
I 100% did notice that.
So, and the first piece of evidence of that I have is Kamala Harris's first statement was about the 210,000 deaths from COVID. Mm-hmm. So that's not an agreed upon number. That's a number that is used by the left.
Swirling around.
Yeah, that doesn't mean anything, that number, because that doesn't mean that every person in that... And it's really only a fraction of that 210,000 that died really of COVID. Mm-hmm. Like, underlying causes such as old age or whatever. There's no question that people didn't die of it. Yeah. But then what the moderator did was the next question she posed to Pence was directly saying to him, there's 210,000 deaths from COVID. So as an unbiased moderator, what she should have done is either stated to him, there are estimates that of something, but for her to take that role, that's the number that it is, what are you guys going to do? It showed me right there, okay. So she's taking what Harris says as fact when it wasn't a fact.
Right.
And she's posing...
And assuming Pence is a liar.
Right, and she's posing that question to Pence using a number that Harris and her party are using, but it's not an agreed-upon number. No. So that was the first...
Well, the problem is nothing is agreed upon.
No, right, but that's my point. So don't throw him a question and say, how are you going to fix that? Right. There's 210,000 deaths. What is your party going to do?
But he didn't contest that number.
No, he didn't. But
why?
What the reason is, and I wanted to see if he was going to, because if he did contest it, he's playing right into their hands.
Right.
Because they want them to look like they don't care about COVID. So he did the right thing. He answered the question, but he didn't cater to them with that either. No. He still said, we want people to be able to make wise choices to fight this. And why is it, he also said, another woman, this guy today posted, well, don't forget, Trump had, people were mentioning about how he recovered so quickly. And the woman said, well, he did have, medicine and this and that we can't get. But we can't get it because the Dems oppose every time he says something's coming out. They're, nope, can't do it, can't do it, can't make it that quick. So I like the way Pence said, stop fighting every time we say something's coming out. Stop playing politics with people's lives. Right. He nailed it.
That was a bomb.
He nailed it.
That was a bomb.
And...
I didn't see Harris drop any bombs on Pence.
No, she wasn't. She was weak.
She's a cult of personality.
Yes. That's all she is.
She was trying
She's
to do,
lightweight.
She would do like 1 minute the Southern twang.
Yeah.
Another minute she sounded like she was from the Bronx.
Right. Just like Hillary did. Girl, I'm this and I'm that.
Maybe I almost puked when it happened.
It's
I was like, ooh, that was cringy. Pence is just the same person all the time. You get what you get with
Pence is a good man in general. He's a family guy.
I like that he didn't apologize for being pro-life either.
No.
Honestly, like, the shit that they pull after I've heard what Alex Jones and these guys have had to say, and I've researched it.
Yeah.
the games that are played with fetuses is bizarre.
Yes. Yes.
And that's what it's really about. That's why they're fighting for these late-term abortions, man. It's I mean, it's a hard thing to discuss, but it's a huge issue.
Another thing that you're right. It is a huge issue, and it's something that's been an issue for
a long time.
Yeah, it's a definite talking point.
It's a difficult one.
And then I also looked to see what CNN said, and do you know they said that there was a black woman giving her take on the debate.
Right.
So of course, Harris is, and she says, "Did you notice?" When that fly landed on Pence's head, right as he was talking about race, the fly was like, "What?" Like, you're a professional newscaster. This is how you, like, has our country...
That's where their party's heading.
Yes.
Their party's heading towards the Cardi B thing.
It's like, has our nation fallen that far?
Yes, it has. It's been for a long time.
So, that was... showed me, like I said, when I look at the left, there's not much the right can do at this point. Then I'm not going to vote right because they are just it's a joke. And
I agree.
I also think that another thing that I learned in this by one of the things was looking at what that woman said was no matter what we watch, no matter how well somebody debates on the right or the left, people have their minds made up before this debate.
Well, Trump says this morning they were trying to hit him up with that virtual debate now.
Yeah.
He's not going to do it.
No.
No way. Come out and debate.
Yes. People's minds are made up because, like I said, to me when I watched it, I think if I had to really give my honest take, I felt like Pence slayed her. And I thought
it was a good debate.
Yeah, I thought it was a good debate, but I didn't get any. I felt that he was pointing out a lot of issues that she flip-flopped on with the fracking and, and...
He hammered her, honestly.
So, but then to turn on, and even like on Facebook and all the other Twitter, all you see is everybody on the left, oh, God, did you see how she told him I'm talking? And it's like... What does that have to do with the issues?
It's funny because that's something that Trump would do.
Right.
But they can't stomach when he does it. But when Kamala does it, she's a race warrior who is on the front lines of the infantry.
It just showed me that, honestly, it's almost a waste to watch these debates because...
It's fun.
It's fun.
That's what it's for.
I know, but I'm saying as far as, like,
you don't get any substance from
these people,
no matter the right or the left.
No, and it doesn't...
It annoys me when Pence or Trump can't answer questions directly either.
Absolutely.
And they're guilty of it.
Without a doubt.
And it was big questions that they were asked that they dropped the ball on.
I do like, though, how Pence was going back. See, the left got mad that he kept going back. To me, he was trying to answer questions in full. Right. Whereas Harris makes, just like Biden, they make bold statements. We're going to give everybody $1,000 right back on student whatever. Of course, you're just going to raise taxes to do that. It's...
Are you going to raise taxes? No. But then there's a million videos of them directly saying themselves what they're going to do.
It's just,
I can't believe that people watch this shit and believe anything.
Yeah, it's entertainment. And like I said,
the liberals really believe. I can honestly say I don't believe any of them.
No.
I'm going to go with the right.
Yep.
But how can you think that these people, I always challenge people to research Tweed or Tammany Hall.
Yeah, boss Tweed.
He was the original liberal scum who would buy votes, and that's where it all really...
Talk about crooked politics, man. That guy...
He wrote the book.
Yeah, he sure did. He sure did.
It has not changed.
No.
It's just on a bigger scale.
Yep.
And rather than give you bread and soup, they give you $200 a week.
They buy you a vote.
It's disgusting.
But she just looked like exactly what I expected her to look like. When I look at her, I see a woman who can be vicious, who would be the type of woman I would not want to work under because it looks like her wrath would be, but yet.
I could see where she could be useful, though.
See, I don't see that because
Not as a president or vice president. I'm saying as a law enforcement officer.
well, the problem is though when you look at the facts, blacks had a terrible time when she was in office. So she was supposed to have done so much. They were in jail more, and they were facing more problems as far as legalities when she was in office.
They dropped the marijuana bomb last night.
Oh yeah. We're gonna this and that, and it's like
Trump will beat him to it.
Yeah, it was just like I said. It's very they take headlines. They're the people they're clickbait headlines with nothing on no substance.
Trash.
And that's but to
Pence,
watch.
Pence. I mean, the sensitive snowflakes out there are definitely gonna. Ooh, Kamala won.
Yeah.
But they know deep down inside. I'm telling you, what I saw on MSNBC last night.
Yeah.
Do you know the guy with the beard?
Yeah.
Who had the second the debate ended, it panned to them.
Yeah.
And he was just like.
Mm-hmm.
And then it took about 5 minutes of them trying to process what just happened, and then they said, "Well, Pence was stealing time."
Yeah.
Like so, it went from like, "Oh shit," to like, "Now we're gonna jab at Pence." But I saw it. I heard it and I saw it. So. That's on MSNBC.
They get these, and it's not representative of the black population, but it's like they get the stereotypical black woman, like, that flower. I was like, what? Like, you're a newscaster, you fucking bozo. That's how you talk. Like, there's no professionalism in these people. There's no,
Yeah, but that's why Trump is the way he is.
No, I get
it.
I get it.
To deal
yes,
with,
yeah, and that's you're absolutely right. That's why he comes out strong. He just goes right through.
It's funny, man. It's so funny how these people cry about things that Trump does that they would do in a hot second if the roles were reversed.
Yeah.
So.
And I loved how she talked about. We know Joe is a unite. Joe is this. Joe is that.
I like how they call him Joe. They're really trying to make him into like a Carter type of guy.
Yes.
Like
everybody's Uncle Joe.
Yeah, Uncle Joe.
Yeah, we know how Joe is, and Joe loves to
It's for the other side. It's either President Trump or Trump.
Yes. Yep. But I just love that
Nobody
she's like we all know what Joe would say and Joe would do.
Yeah. What would Joe do? Actually,
she's praying Joe drops dead in a month. So she could take over. That's what she's hoping.
And Joe's like probably. I'm gonna start calling him Joe now because that seems to be the cool thing.
Uncle Joe. He's like Grandpa Joe.
He probably is ready for that. They probably had the conversation. I'm gonna drop.
I don't want to do this job.
Yeah.
I don't want to do this for the last. I'll be 77 or 78 when I get in office. If I win.
I'll be 82, 83 by the time he gets out.
I don't want to do this. I can't handle that kind of stress. Do you know when they show what a guy looks like when he gets into office versus what
after?
Imagine what Biden would look like after 4 years.
That's a great point.
Granted, the media doesn't hit them, but they still Obama aged a lot.
Abraham Lincoln, every one of them.
Yeah.
Every single one of them.
Clinton did.
It's a lot of work.
It is. It's a lot of work. It's constant scrutiny, and it's constant debate and give and take and compromising and just every.
What I like is that Kamala Harris tried to have these like shining moments, but Pence wouldn't let her get off with it.
Yeah.
She didn't have any real moment where everyone was like, "Oh, yeah." Only the Trump campaign could develop those.
CNN had this picture where she the light was behind her, and they're like,
historic
Maya
statement. Rudolph is her on SNL. Barf.
Historic statement by Kamala to open the debate. It's like historic. There's nothing that woman said.
It's going to be historic when we win in a landslide.
I hope so, man. I really do.
Trump and Pence don't seem to be in the slightest bit concerned. And if they're not concerned, I'm not concerned.
They make I got to say, it wasn't like Trump went and picked another Trump.
He
Pence,
picked a different dude.
Yeah,
Trump's not that religious guy like Pence is. Pence represents the South.
Yeah.
Whereas Trump's got that industrial.
He picked a very
side.
competent guy. Honestly, if something, God forbid, happened to Trump,
he could run the country.
I'd feel okay with Pence at the helm. I would not feel okay with Harris running things. China would be licking their chops if Biden won. They're praying he wins.
If only there were certain things, like, we've had the conversation on this podcast about, like, infrastructure and about marijuana and about things like that. I know that there's a lot more important issues that Trump and Pence have to deal with, but if only they could find a way to slip those in there,
Sure.
it would really help and go a long way.
We'll get a lot of votes, I'm sure.
It would, and it would be a good thing. I don't understand why they're not more...
Yeah, I know.
Trying to broaden their scope of things.
There was very few questions also, your grandfather brought this up, like guys like Reagan. I mean, the moderator asked it, but I do remember, like, when I go back and I watch the debates with Carter and Reagan and, all the way back, not as much international policy questions. It's always like race and COVID.
Well, the left is now just plagiarizing the right of China on everything, which is like, I've been paying attention the past 5 years to what's going on. There's no way they're going to start saying that now, and I'm going to believe them.
No. So, and I just think
Pence brought up a great point too. In all those years, in the Obama years, you guys didn't do anything to negate China.
Right.
But they're trying to pretend like it's this, I don't know. The Paris Climate Agreement was another thing. These are just like clickbaits.
Yeah. They always
like,
make it
people think the Paris Climate Agreement Accord, whatever, is so great because the word Paris is in it and climate.
It's like the Treaty of Versailles.
Right. You think it's like something marvelous, and it's not. Like, we could do it better.
Yeah.
We can do healthcare better. We could do everything better.
Yeah. Well, they make it like Obamacare was this shining
brilliant
bastion
system.
of
It was terrible.
And when we handed the economy over to Trump, it was great, and like. It's just...
Kamala Harris, they're coming for you.
Yeah.
They're coming for you.
Yeah, and the taxes. I don't know if you people know, when you owe money, that means you owe money to somebody. Like, wow.
Easy, girl.
Yeah. Yes, like, God.
That's an officer of the law.
Another one of my questions, I always ask your grandfather this, because, again, that's somebody that I respect as far as his knowledge of history. I said... Was the media this bad? Because I was young. When Reagan was in office, I was in elementary school, maybe the beginning of middle school.
Right.
So I watch the debates now, and I can kind of understand what he was, how he was, and how Carter was. I said, but was the media this way? He said, way more professional, way more, like, subjective and things. He said there was never, like, you would never turn it on, and right away they'd be like slamming one guy, and just, it wasn't like that. He said it was never this bad. So, but he said he thinks it's due to social media. He thinks it's kind of dumbed down the population.
There's no other explanation for it.
So, but it was just, I mean, did she? Unfortunately, I watched the debate on my phone, so it was like watching somebody 1,000 feet away from. He said she did not acknowledge Pence after the debate, like when they smile and wave at each other. He said she wouldn't even really acknowledge him. I didn't get to see that. All I saw was her husband had this mask on that was like.
Yeah, Nancy Pelosi now too. She got the big Darth Vader mask on.
Yeah. But I like how Pence's wife came up without the mask. I mean, it's a real clear-cut.
This is one side.
Yeah,
the other side.
Yeah. This thing has really been politicized. It has been all along, but both sides are holding on to this stance.
Eventually, things are just going to snap and blow out of control. I've heard that there are police departments right now preparing for a Trump victory. Getting ready for mass riots.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting is the moderator makes it more like if Trump said he would not be willing to do a peaceful transfer of power, what are you going to do? Like, well, that's the only sort of craziness you've seen going on in the last months. Like,
well, Kamala Harris was a part of the peaceful protest.
Yeah, she said we were shoulder to shoulder, like she's marching with Martin Luther King.
They should have sent her to CHOP.
Oh, she's disgusting. Honestly, she's just a disgrace. We were marching in person of shoulder to shoulder. And,
with her 25 bodyguards, armed to the teeth.
She literally makes my skin crawl. And I don't think, like, I get why people don't like Trump. I get it. But how can you like this woman? I mean, you could see right through her. She's just... And it's the same people, though, every time when I look online that are just...
Well, that's who they are.
That's the way it goes. It's the name of the game.
I don't even pay attention to that stuff anymore.
Yeah. No, you can't. It's always going to be the way it is.
I have a gut feeling Trump is going to win in a landslide. Because looking back at 2016, Hillary Clinton was a way more fierce opponent than Joe Biden.
I think she was.
100%.
Yep. I think she was way more.
Oh, no. All right, you got to take it away. I might have to take this phone call.
Okay. So, anyway, I also wanted to bring up another thought that I had was the things going on in New York with the shutdowns of certain areas in New York. It seems to be de Blasio is targeting the Hasidic population, and again, it's another thing that just seems to be politicized, where you have... I'm sorry, I'll just tell you what I was talking about the Hasidics, how de Blasio seems to be targeting them for shutdowns.
Yeah, that's a big one.
But what's interesting is they had statistics that show that in the Spanish, the higher immigrant areas, higher Spanish areas, the rates of COVID were much higher than they were in the Hasidic areas. The areas, though, that were higher were not touched by the shutdowns. So the person seemed to be pointing out the fact that it looks like de Blasio is targeting the people who don't vote for him.
Well,
so
if the Jews feel offended, there's probably a reason they're offended.
Yeah. Well, they protested. There was a protest, and one of the guys got beat up. He was on the top of a van filming it, and some guy said, "That guy's a snitch," and they beat him. They pulled him down and beat him. So,
it's a tough situation. I agree that a lot of these Hispanic and Black communities kind of get away with murder.
Yeah, that's just another
example of the
right.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't he shut those areas down if that's what he's... I mean, to me, it's a no-brainer.
Bill de Blasio is like an agent of the devil.
Yeah.
He's just he really knows how to stir the pot. He's a Tammany Hall type of guy.
Yeah, he's just him and his wife. Oh, God.
It's like he found... like the left plays that game, like with Amy Coney Barrett or whatever, about her kids being adopted from Haiti.
Yeah.
Well, I could say the same thing about Bill de Blasio and his wife.
Yeah. Yep.
He probably... Oh, God, he's such a dirtbag, that guy. He really is. I'll tell you, the restaurant industry is not a fan of them.
No, of course not. Of course not.
Catering industry, they have destroyed.
Yeah. Yeah.
In New York, no
New York
less.
has taken a major hit. I mean, you're having a lot of high, people in a higher tax bracket pulling up and getting out. Businesses shutting down for good. It's just an ugly scene. But it was really interesting the areas that he's, you're shutting down these people who, if the reason you're shutting it down is for COVID, then you're going to obviously go by the areas where it's highest.
Yeah.
But you're sidestepping the voters that, your constituency, and you're targeting the Jews, and it's just very telling to me. I mean, it just shows where this guy's at.
It's bad news.
New
York's got a lot of problems on its hands.
Oh.
California and New York.
Oh.
California's on fire. And what Pence said last night was true.
Mm-hmm.
Or actually, I think, Pence touched on it, but also Trump really touched on it in the first debate. Europe has these forest cities that Trump was talking about. It's a real thing.
Yep.
And they manage their forests.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There are forests in Europe that are drier than California's.
You just have to make sure
you have to do the job and do the job of managing it.
Right. Which includes burning certain areas.
Every year, Trump said, and he's right, you can't have millions of acres of trees burning down.
Yep.
Well, the state has to figure it out.
And she, it's like this. It's just climate change right away. It's like every. There were things that
I like that
make the hurricanes worse and this worse, and it's like.
I like that they're trying to say that Trump and Pence are anti-science.
Yeah, I know.
Coming from the people that introduced us to a space force.
Yeah, I know. It is what it is. You turn on, like I said, the same people that before the debate were talking about Trump bad and, singing the praises of Biden and Harris. After the debate, the same thing. I mean, it changes nothing. They say that they're trying to target the people that are undecided, but to me, I don't know. If I was watching that, I don't know how people can say that Harris destroyed Pence or what. I mean, it just doesn't.
It was fair enough to say good debate.
Yeah.
And leave it there.
It was a better debate than the presidential debate, in my opinion.
I don't know. I'm kind of sick.
I'm not as far as entertainment.
I would watch Trump just body slam.
Well, that's what I mean. There was no give or take. Like, I didn't find that one to be
I like when Joe
evenly
Biden's
matched.
talking, though, and Trump's just like, wrong.
Yeah, I know.
He's wrong.
Yeah, lies.
He's so funny.
Yeah.
Oh,
Lying.
God. It's all haters that don't like Trump. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Really take a look at these people.
Yeah, of course.
I just can't figure out the wealthy ones. I can't figure out why on earth you would ever want Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez that close to the White House. You know what I mean?
They love her. AOC.
It's crazy.
I know. Talk about a radical whack job. I don't understand it. They love her, though. It's just another, to me, the left, the Democratic Party has fallen so far that they're going to
have to change their names.
Yeah, I just can't. I said it earlier. There's very little that the right can do that would force me to go over and vote for a left. It just wouldn't happen. It just, that party is.
The GOP is evolving slowly but surely into something better.
Yes.
Whereas the left is slowly but surely evolving into something darker.
Yeah.
So it's like
radical.
Yeah. Like the GOP eventually is going to have marijuana under its belt. It's going to have a lot of nice things.
Yep.
Social things.
Yep.
Things that historically it
wouldn't be there.
And now they're going to have that.
Because that's the thing. All those middle issues now are
totally conservative.
Yeah. Yep.
You could believe in marijuana and be an atheist and still be a conservative and be a homosexual.
Yep.
Doesn't matter.
There was pictures of Proud Boys who they had like a couple of black guys, and it said, oh,
I know what you're gonna say.
Oh, they had the hats with like Black Lives, and instead of matter, it said Black Lives MAGA, and it had but it had like they were all, but it said Proud Boys, and they're all black guys, Spanish guys. And the moderator, again, though, it's like they have to touch on this Proud Boys.
The Proud Boys could care less.
They could. They laugh. They laugh.
They're not a white supremacist group. End of story. The left looks ridiculous.
They
for
do,
pushing
and
that.
they keep pushing. Trump didn't denounce white supremacy. When has he ever said he's in favor of white supremacy or wouldn't come on? And that just shows again, they don't tackle real issues. No. They prefer to stick to these talking points that are totally made up, and it gets the dummies. That's their voters. I mean, I hate to say it.
All right, so listen, I have some business I have to.
That's it. There's nothing more for me to say.
We
tackled the debate
today. We hit it hard. Trump 2020. I can't believe it's 2020. It's something weird about the year. It's like this whole magic vortex of the number 2020 and COVID and Donald Trump. There's so many things that are just.
Lost Eddie Van Halen,
right.
Bad year.
Strange year. It's a strange times indeed. Anyway, everybody have a great rest of the day.
We'll see you tomorrow.
And we'll see you tomorrow. That's right. Take care.